Well, one of my hobbies of late has just been following the saga that is the release of the Polymega. Seems like every so many months there is a new and almost unbelievable story, and we got one here to start the week. Actually, two fascinating stories. One, and by the way, I'll link below. The first was that we found out that Polymega's, having their console assembled in Myanmar. And if you've been following the international news, you'll know that there was a military coup in Myanmar and tons of civil unrest and protests. So this has delayed the production of the Polymega. Now, the Polymega, the parts apparently are assembled or are produced in China, but they are assembled in Myanmar. So in the report that I'm referencing and linking to below, the Japanese distributor of the Polymega said, well, based on what we know, this will not come out until the end of the year, but they didn't specify whether it's the fiscal year, which would be April, or the end of the calendar year. And let's face it, since we've been following the Polymega, my money would be on the end of the calendar year. If I had to place a bet, of course, I would probably go with it will never come out. But nonetheless, now Polymega responded, and they said, well, it's a shifting timetable. We're still on track to get these out. It's just that the protests and the kind of political conditions on the ground are unpredictable, but we feel like we're gonna meet our targets because, of course, it's just assembly. It's not production. So, political coups, military coups are pretty rare events, and it's just amusing that Polymega, they started the delays with incompetence, and then a chip shortage, and then a global pandemic, first time in 100 years, and now they're hit with a military coup. I mean, what else could possibly happen to this console? I mean, it's just amusing to think of the other, global possibilities for delay. I mean, because we got two pretty rare ones. Now, if that wasn't enough, a user was apparently trying to get a refund either at the end of last week or today, and wasn't getting any response from Polymega, shockingly. And then did some research and found out that their business license in California has been suspended. Posted that to the folks over at the Polymega Twitter account, and CEO jumped into action and, of course, let us know that everything's cool. It's just a little snafu with the credit card. The accountant's on top of it. It's just a holding company anyway. We're still licensed to do business everywhere else. So, not an issue. Then again, is it surprising that their business license would be suspended? And I think it's amusing that whether it's, let's give them the benefit of the doubt. Let's just say that the credit card expired, the accountant didn't catch it. The CEO of Polymega is on top of everything, from small accounting snafus to military coups and protests. So nothing, Polymega's on track. Now, it has been delayed for 4 years, but, it's a slow process. It's a passion project. It's going to come out. So I think, and as I've said, they need to, abandon the everything's under control line and just be honest with their customers. And that has been the one thing that they can't control. That has been the one kind of situation that they can't kind of grasp and manage, and that's honesty with the customer base. But it's it's just a fascinating story. I find it shocking, like every so many months, to read, what the latest is. I mean, I didn't think it'd get any worse than going to war with Walmart. And now, an actual act of war, civil unrest is delaying the console even further. And, I mean, this is the most shocking, troubled, beleaguered launch in gaming history at this point. I mean, it's, you kind of look at all of the screw-ups in the past, Sega of America with the 32X and the Saturn. You look at the Microsoft, Red Ring of Death with Xbox 360, and that cost them, significant money. But I think all of that is eclipsed by just the crazy stuff that is happening with the Polymega. And I'll end with the question I always end with, and that is, do you think this is coming out? Is this going to make it into the hands of the average customer, not the influencers, not the superstars on YouTube? Can the average customer buy it before 2021? I think the prospects of that are getting dimmer with each passing month.